Although you can drive to the Blue Heron mine site, a better way to get there is by train. The Big South Fork Scenic Railway travels from the city of Stearns, Kentucky, down to the Blue Heron Outdoor Museum, about 6 miles away. Its first stop, though, is the reconstructed mining town of Barthel. This privately owned destination has been recreated to look just as it did over 75 years ago. Churches, schools, and houses have all been rebuilt. A fully functioning mining town also needed a doctor's office and a barber shop. The machine shop has been restored as well as the depot. A large number of relics have been preserved here to help educate visitors and show what life was like in a mining town. Leaving Barthel, the train continues on until it reaches the visitor center at Blue Heron. In the 1980s, after 20 years of neglect, the Park Service decided to rebuild the town as an open-air museum. The buildings at first glance don't appear to be finished. In reality, these recreations are called ghost structures, and they stand right where their original counterparts stood. These new buildings have a roof and steel beams to support them, but they lack walls, doors, and windows. Each of these structures has an audio system that plays back the comments and recollections of many of the people who actually lived in this community many years ago. For those visitors interested in a more exact reproduction of this town, the National Park Service has created a scale model inside the open-air visitor center. Blue Heron was in operation from 1937 until 1962. When it was built, the coal tipple was state-of-the-art. Coal cars or trams came across the bridge that spans the Big South Fork and dumped their load into this huge building. The coal was separated into different sizes and then dumped into railroad cars beneath. From here, the coal was transported by rail back to Stearns and then transferred to the Southern Railway line for delivery to cities like Cincinnati and Chattanooga. In the 1940s and 50s, this town was full of noise, dust, and constant activity. Today, it is mostly quiet, except for the occasional sound of a departing train on the Big South Fork Scenic Railway. The coal and lumber companies supplied America with the valuable resources it needed after 2 world wars. They provided their workers with steady jobs and memories that would last a lifetime. But the companies also left behind a fair amount of destruction and debris. It has taken many years for the forest to grow back. Nevertheless, many of the animals displaced during the coal mining and logging periods are returning. The squirrels are back. Wild turkeys are returning. Birds of all kinds are nesting in the rocky overhangs once again. As is often the case in nature, these animals have returned to Big South Fork on their own. 2 larger animals, however, are returning with the help of humans, the elk and the black bear.